Hey everybody, how you doing today? Hopefully it's great. Hopefully it's great. Started second guessing myself there. Anyways, this stream is self-explanatory. It's reviewing the award-winning TIFF films that I saw. That I saw. So I didn't see these films. I didn't see Hamnet, No Other Choice, and then what was the other one? The runner-up, Frankenstein, Wake Up, Dead Man, and Knives Out Mystery. There's so many I didn't see. Sentimental Value, Homebound, No Other Choice. So many good ones I missed. But I did see a fair amount. I saw 6, and some I have interviews tied to. So let's just go through it here on the TIFF website, and then we'll go to Letterboxd. I'll read you my reviews. So, like I said, I haven't seen any of these. And then with the documentary, I did see Epic Elvis Presley in concert, and that was reviewed already. So I'm not including that in this stream. Didn't see the other one. Didn't see Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, or Obsession, but I saw The Furious. So you'll get my review for that. And then if you follow this channel, you know I interviewed Kenji and some of his cast members. And those clips came out last week, sorry. And lots of you liked those. They did well for the channel. And then Shortcuts Awards. Okay. What do we got here? So I saw the Shortcuts Award for Best Canadian Short Film, The Girl Who Cried Pearls. And I've got a review for that. And I interviewed Chris and his partner. And that's on the channel. So you can check that out. It's a full video. It's a Zoom video call. Good times, good times. But it's just audio, but whatever. Anyways, what else we got here? Haven't seen these other ones. So the Fapresky Prize. I have seen that film. Forastera. So when I was in contact with the publicist of this film, and I was going to maybe see the film during the festival. That ended up not happening. But I did get a screener, and I would love to interview the director. Maybe that'll happen, maybe it won't. Stay tuned for that. So we'll get to that. And then what else we got here? Canadian Discovery Award. I didn't see Blue Heron. I saw 100 Sunset, though. And my clips with Kun-san, the director, are going to come out on Friday and Saturday. So you have that to look forward to. And my review of 100 Sunset in this stream. Okay, so Best Canadian Feature Film Award. I have seen this film, Ron Husband, but it's not included in this stream because I reviewed it in February because it premiered at the Berlinale. So, yeah, you can check that out on my Berlin coverage this year. That being said, I did interview Zacharias. Thrilled that happens. Very exciting. And those clips start coming out tomorrow. So tomorrow and the day after. Very exciting. Okay. And then the honorable mention, though. There Are No Words. Saw it. The review in this stream. We'll get to it. The Platform Award. I saw it. To the Victory. That review is going to be included in this stream. I heard Head's fun. And anyway, so that's it. So we've got 6 reviews. There's more than 6 films here, but I've got 6 reviews. And I saw this award ceremony live. I'm not sure if it's still on YouTube. But it's always kind of fun to watch. So let's get to it. The latest Ukrainian movie to come to TIFF is called To the Victory. In my opinion, it is a bad concept for a film that is entertaining. There is a degree of hubris to paint a picture where everything, more or less, works out for Ukraine as the country is engulfed in war. There is positive framing and idealization, and there are delusions. This movie doesn't do itself the favor of existing, while the apathetic to the cause funder-in-chief, Donald Trump, is clearly president of America. There are lots of fun characters, cool dialogue, and good scenes here. It's just the premise of the movie. The underlying tissue is fundamentally weak in poor taste, and even entitled. I still enjoyed it, but there were too many times where I would groan, not because the actors were bad, but because the premise to the script has its issues. I'm sure plenty of people will like the premise of this. Plenty of those people will make this review come across as suspect, but I want nothing but peace for the Ukrainian people. I think that funding could stop from Trump, though, and that is totally possible that Putin, and it is totally possible that Putin takes territory from them, and there's nothing they can do about it then. This movie fails to address this scenario. Like, yeah, this movie kind of cheesed me a little bit. But whatever. Who cares what I think? The Girl Who Cried Pearls. I like stop motion. I like puppets. Team America World Police is a phenomenal movie, so it's not a surprise that the NFB short film The Girl Who Cried Pearls, which is covered at TIFF, is very good. It's sort of a depressing tale, but what do you expect? It's something in the early 1900s. A boy and a girl are tempted by regular life, malevolent demonic forces in the form of people, and one must form character. The thing is about 20 minutes. It has an excellent craftsmanship and emotion embedded in the weird visual story. It's something that I bet Guillermo del Toro would really enjoy. There Are No Words is the latest project from Min Suk Lee, an individual I was fortunate to interview about her feature from last year, which premiered at TIFF, Paying for It. That movie was very sincere and personal, and this documentary is also quite personal as well. She retraces her childhood and talks to her father to primarily get to know her mother better. It was not an easy cultural dynamic for them. They were Korean in the 70s, living in Toronto, a city that is predominantly non-Caucasian now, but it certainly was not then. They faced racism, and frankly, her father was quite an entitled jerk. These increasingly uncomfortable exchanges in the documentary lead to a reveal that is heartbreaking but understandable given the context. I would be interested in seeing something from Min that was less directly autobiographical, but layered relationships from both Paying for It and There Are No Words. She's probably done this before, but my experience with her work is these two projects. They are both interesting and very layered. They are authentic and lived experience within them, giving them great depth and overall, both are very strong projects. Yes. So I said I saw that movie Paying for It, and I actually saw Chester, I think that's his name, who is Dan Byrne plays in the movie. I saw him while waiting for Nouvelle Vague during TIFF. So that's kind of neat. The Furious is set in Thailand. There, I said it. I talked to the director during TIFF and asked him why the murky setting. It says just some place in Asia. It sounded like it was some interesting alternative country. No, the film deals with the sex trade, and producers didn't want to make Thailand look bad due to their situation with this industry. But now you know the truth. The tale is nothing new. The guy wants his daughter back and beats up a lot of people along the way to do what he has to do and fulfill his role as a father and be this great guy in the world. The action is quite a lot of fun, though. It's directed by the guy who did the fight choreography for Twilight of the Warriors, Walled In. After all, we see lots of interesting fight choreography, and there is a simple emotional investment. The story may not be elaborate, but it helps invest in the action and go along for the thrill ride. I basically really enjoyed myself during this film. I'm sure the Midnight audience at TIFF Midnight Madness audience at TIFF ate it up. People told me they really loved the experience, but I saw it as a screener. However, it was projected on my wall, so it was better than just watching it on my laptop. So I watched the film in the morning, and then I interviewed them at like 1:30. I had to scramble, I had to get my questions ready. But of course, now I know all this backstory because I interviewed them and, the stuff about Thailand. So this review clearly after the interview, which is how I like to write most of my reviews, actually, if I'm fortunate enough to do an interview. Anyways, the price of the industry screening at TIFF for 100 Sunset was packed, which is great to see. This is about the Tibetan community in the Parkdale neighborhood in Toronto. There are these sketchy card games in one unit where lots of bad things go down, and scrutiny as well as voyeurism follow. What a neat idea for a coming-of-age film, since the primary characters are young females. It's kind of interesting to see this film, as there's a spot around the corner for me with high-stakes card games used to or still go down. And one time, someone was murdered there. This is that another familiar Ontario story, but in Toronto and with a different community. But it seemed like an accessible story to me, given the situation with the neighbor, as well as having my own coming of age tale way back when. I had an interview with the director during TIFF, and was happy to be the one to inform her that the screening was so well attended. Getting that reaction was great, and this film had a lot of chill atmosphere in it. It was a fun low key-ish movie that also had the charm of shooting scenes on the TTC. Hearing the public transit announcer call the Spadina station was funny for me, given that that's where Chinatown is, and it makes total sense for this. All right. Last but not least, this is my favorite film in this stream that I've been reviewing. That I've reviewed. Blah, blah, blah. Forastera was what I needed. I had seen a high quality movie from Spain in a bit, but when TIFF rolls around, you know that is a highly probable scenario to enter. TIFF has the sauce. It's not a sensational movie at all. It's a pretty static but rewarding film, both with some visual compositions and the acted plot. It's about loss, clinging and moving on with all the difficulty. It also won the International Critics Prize, the Fipresci Prize. I neglected seeing the film during the actual festival, but I've been in contact with the film's publicist and got my hands on it the day after it won. I quickly felt like this film was special. It's a chamber movie with intrigue. It's got some interesting shots, but it never veers into showing off and making inappropriate visual hat tricks for this dramatic experience. So, what happens when someone leaves the family and that the voids that are filled through personal behavior and tribal politics? It's a subtle accomplishment from a first-time director, to be certain. So this director is out here and just got a shot of cash from TIFF. Maybe at some point she will be interviewed by me about this film, but regardless, I appreciate the maturity and subtlety, especially from a first timer. All right, there you go. My stream about the TIFF award winners. And then, as I mentioned, we're going to hear from the directors of Ron Husband and 100 Sunset starting tomorrow, going to Saturday. So that's what this week's theme sort of is. It's TIFF award winners. Gosh darn it! Hope you had fun with this, and I'm out for now. I'm off for now.